Hey guys, welcome to Game Bad. Today bringing out a video, and today we're going through limited time modes in Call of Duty Warzone and what the future of these modes look like for the game as we get into the end of the year here, towards the Vanguard integration, and towards competitors like Battlefield and Halo and others coming out. So in the background you'll see a really good game of buyback quads. We ended up having, I believe it was a 40 or a 44 kill game here as a team, which was pretty good. We were in a lot of firefights. And near the end of the game, we get into just insane firefights as we're trying to work over towards the mountain. We end up engaging basically 3 teams at once. Really ridiculous firefights. I end up dying, picking up a Krig because it's all the enemy had. And it's just, you'll see the night and day difference between the Krig and the Modern Warfare weapons with the recoil patterns and just the visual recoil. But that's something I'm going to be working on in the future video, is really Modern Warfare weapons compared to Cold War weapons, and that'll be a more of an in-depth video. I might even have to break it down frame by frame and things like that just to prove my point, but you'll see that later in the gameplay. Just an insane firefight going on there. But again, this discussion here is going to be based on limited time modes for Call of Duty Warzone. So first up, limited time modes. Again, these are modes that we rarely see. The main one here we're looking at is the buyback mode. So this is probably the most popular mode, and recently they took out regular Verdansk Battle Royale, so that is no longer in the game right now. And they replaced it with buyback solos, duos, trios, and quads. So those are the only modes you can play for regular Verdansk right now, besides Plunder, obviously, but is the buyback mode. So the buyback mode is, like I said, the most popular mode amongst the player base, and it's probably one of the more fun ones, if not the most fun, just because you're always in firefights in this game mode. People are a lot less inclined to camp, because as long as you have the money, you're going to be coming back. And really, in the beginning, I would say the beginning first quarter of the game itself, players are a lot more aggressive just because you know they can come back. And then when you get to the latter half of the game, by the time the buyback mode or the respawn mode closes, then players try to obviously play for the win. But that first quarter, half of the game is just intense with firefights. And especially here, you'll just see that crazy firefight I was talking about as we get near the end of the game. Now, limited time modes like this, again, fan favorite. It's really good that they end up bringing this in and taking out Verdansk. This is the first time we've really seen this done. They've never removed regular Verdansk ever until now. So hopefully this is a thing of a sign of things to come from Raven, is quality of life improvements. Mainly one thing here being the limited time modes. Now, the one mode that I love outside of this, and I would say really the only mode worth talking about from the limited time mode playlist, would be Realism Royale along with buyback modes. So Realism Royale, that's a game mode that now that they're doing this, maybe Realism Royale has a chance to come back. I would say, if I'm a betting man, I would say we'll never see Realism Royale again, unfortunately. But if we were to look at the fact that they're replacing regular Verdansk with this limited time mode for buybacks, which again, players have been asking for this for a long time. So maybe it at least opens up the possibility of the door to the fact that we could be getting potentially at least seeing Realism Royale in some form or another down the road. Now, because they replaced full-blown Verdansk with this, maybe we could see Realism Royale added in on the side. So it's also, you have regular Verdansk, or you have the buyback modes and a playlist for Realism Royale as well, would be a lot of fun. But I would really like to see them just rotate this type of playstyle, is have regular Verdansk and then remove it for this, and then have regular Verdansk for another week on, and then remove it for 4 days for Realism Royale, and do something like that every 2 weeks or something on a schedule. It seems like Raven's been sharing the schedule as to what the upcoming events and game modes, like limited time modes, will be for Warzone. So that's something we could be seeing in the future. And again, limited time modes, really what I want to focus the discussion on is limited time modes kind of making up for the fact that the game has a lot of problems, mainly quality of life problems that really haven't been fixed, just because the development teams are not large enough. Warzone is a much bigger game, and when I can step back out of the heat of playing in the game at the moment, I can obviously rationally realize that the development team at Raven definitely was not equipped to deal with this game right off the bat. It's a lot bigger than I think anyone ever thought it would be. And the fact that they are working not just on fixing bugs, they're working on plenty of other things, like bringing in the new weapons. There's a lot of things going on in the background that they're working on for the future that we really don't know about. Those would be the new maps, the new weapons for Vanguard. You bet they're definitely already working on those. So as we get to this time, it's really hard for them to be focusing on quality of life. And that's where they would really need more developers in order to focus on those quality of life changes. But the good thing about the limited time modes is it kind of makes up for the downsides of the game. Those quality of life issues aren't as prominent in this game mode because these game modes, specifically buyback, is less or more forgiving, I should say. It allows you to make those mistakes. And again, with regular Verdansk, there's a lot of times where those quality of life issues get you killed, and it makes for a bad experience. Now, if we take hackers out of the equation, there's still a lot of quality of life problems, but modes like this can mitigate that to an extent that the game is really, really fun to play. And I would say, since this mode's been in Verdansk this past 4 days, this is probably the most fun I've had playing Warzone in a really long time, really, since probably early Season 3, 4 of Modern Warfare, maybe even Season 5, but before things started getting really ridiculous with the meta and everything. But now that we're having an actual schedule for different limited time modes, again, this is a great thing to see because it seems like they're preparing, hopefully, for the competition that's coming, that being Halo and Battlefield 2042, and of course there's some others in that equation as well. And now Battlefield 2042 is obviously, in my opinion, going to be their biggest competitor. Halo is obviously going to be huge, but from my standpoint, it just fills a different niche in the FPS genre that I've never really been interested in, whereas Battlefield 2042 fills that same niche that I got, or that was appealing to me from Modern Warfare 2019. And Battlefield, I've always been more of a Battlefield guy. Not to say I haven't loved Call of Duty. I've played every single Call of Duty basically ever since the very, very beginning. Same with Battlefield. Battlefield just seems to be more my cup of tea at the end of the day, just because of the more sandbox-y experience. However, Call of Duty is doing a really good job to work through that and work with the competition. It seems like that's what this is they're trying to make these quality of life changes to the communication. We saw a lot of the anti-cheat stuff being announced, and now we see things like limited time modes coming in and replacing full-blown Verdansk. And this is just, again, this is a great way to play the game. Personally, I prefer to play it. It would be awesome if it were realism buyback. I think that would almost be the best way to play the game, in my opinion, because Realism Royale can be very, very slow, just because nobody really knows what's going on without the HUD. So buyback realism would probably be the best mode, in my opinion. But buyback mode's just a lot of fun. And again, you can just see these crazy firefights we're in right now. We just fought off a team under the bridge. Now we're fighting another team coming up on our 6, and I've picked up this Krig that other guy had because my RAL, I guess, disappeared, or this is just all I could find, and I didn't have time to switch back. And honestly, as soon as I picked it up and was getting those kills, I realized just how low recoil this is, and it's kind of insane compared to the Modern Warfare weapons. But again, that'll be another video topic, but you can just see the insane firefights we're getting at this point. You can see the buyback counter is closed, so now you need to survive or you're going to end up losing. And being dead for good at this point. But again, limited time modes like this one just really allow you to have fun with the game, take more risks. It's just, you can really be more aggressive and have more fun. And again, it really mitigates the issues with the quality of life for the game that really they haven't gotten around to fixing yet. And to be honest, they probably won't get around to fixing it. These would probably be, all these issues that we all complain about probably won't be things that are fixed until the second iteration comes out for Warzone. That being, essentially, think of it as Warzone 2, which I'm sure will launch with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in 2022. Now, in the background, you'll see I get caught in the gas here, and I end up dying, although I almost made it all the way around. However, I went the wrong way. If I had just gone to my left here, I would have been up and good to go. Instead, I did a big, wide right loop, and I didn't make it. I died literally right before I crossed through the gas. Unfortunately, I fell down. But again, switching over, we're able to close this game out. Again, limited time modes, a lot of fun. What are your favorite limited time modes? Is it buybacks? Is it realism? What limited time modes would you want to see introduced into the future? Again, they've got to be cooking up some things, of course, here with Battlefield coming out and Halo coming out. They need to keep the game fresh, and it seems like this is a test at doing that. See how the community would react if they remove regular Verdansk and replace it with buyback modes for all modes, being solos, duos, trios, and quads. And again, honestly, I think it's a huge success. I think it's a lot of fun. People really enjoy this mode, and it also makes solos a lot more enjoyable, to be honest. Some of my best solo games have always been in this mode, and I've been playing a little bit of solos over the weekend too. And again, just good high kill games. Really allows you to be more lenient with your weapon choice and have more fun and just kind of enjoy the game for what it was really intended to be, without worrying about the strict meta and the camping going on in regular Verdansk right now. But again, really good game. We had, I think it ended up being 40 kills, insane win right there that we were able to get, thank God. Let me know down below what you guys think of the gameplay, what you think is your favorite limited time mode, and what limited time modes you want to see coming in the future. Do you want to see Realism Royale come back in some form or another? Do you want to see buyback, some other mode that we've seen in the past, or maybe some new type of limited time mode? Let me know down below. Till next time, this is Buckner Gaming. Out.